And what a story it's been! Rip and Beth's intense, fiery relationship has been one of the show's most captivating threads, so it's no surprise that they're carrying the torch into a new chapter. But as exciting as this new series sounds, there's one essential element it needs to succeed: Carter. Fans of Yellowstone will remember Carter, played by Finn Little, who joined the show in Season 4. His introduction was heartbreaking. After losing his father, the orphaned teenager wound up at the Dutton Ranch, where he quickly became entangled in Beth and Rip's world. Though the couple made it clear they weren't looking to be surrogate parents, and even warned Carter against getting too comfortable, it was obvious they cared about him. Over time, their tough love approach softened, and Carter became a quiet but crucial part of their lives, even if they'd never admit to seeing him as family. Now, with a spin-off focused on Rip and Beth, it's hard to imagine their story moving forward without Carter. He's become an extension of their dynamic, adding depth to both characters. Bringing him along for the ride would open up opportunities to flesh out their unconventional bond, allowing audiences to see Rip and Beth navigate not just their own chaotic lives, but also their role in shaping Carter's future. Unfortunately, Carter has been sidelined in recent episodes of Yellowstone, as the show pivots toward wrapping up the Dutton family saga and addressing John Dutton's death. Carter's most notable moment in Season 5 comes when he spooks a horse, leading to Colby's tragic death. A brief scene that doesn't do justice to his potential. Including him in the spinoff would change that, giving him the screen time and character development he's long deserved. With the conclusion of the main series likely freeing Rip and Beth from the relentless drama of the Dutton family, the spinoff could give them and Carter the breathing room to explore their evolving bond. Whether they acknowledge it or not, Beth and Rip have become Carter's de facto family, offering him the stability he never had. This new series could finally highlight that dynamic, creating a fresh narrative while staying true to the heart of what makes Yellowstone resonate with fans. For the Beth and Rip spinoff to feel complete, Carter has to be part of the equation. Not only would it tie up loose ends from the main show, but it would also give fans the chance to watch this unique, makeshift family truly come into its own. And here's why. How Carter helps Beth and Rip. Beth Dutton, like the rest of her family, has had her fair share of struggles throughout Yellowstone. But what makes her character stand out is that she's always fighting to be better. She spent so much of her life battling anger, but with Rip Wheeler by her side, she finally has the steady support she needs. Rip, on the other hand, is the calm in the storm. He takes life one day at a time, rarely letting anything shake him. Together, their relationship has had its tough moments, but it's become surprisingly stable over time. However, just like any relationship that's been around for a while, it needs to change to stay fresh and engaging. That's where introducing a kid like Carter comes in. Bringing Carter into their lives would force Beth and Rip to adjust their dynamic and keep things evolving. Parenting offers both of them an opportunity to grow in ways they wouldn't expect. Beth, for example, has always struggled with her anger. When things get hard, she reacts quickly, sometimes without thinking. But being a parent requires patience, restraint, and tact, qualities that Beth has yet to fully embrace. Having Carter around could help her practice these traits, and not just for his sake, but for her own growth too. By learning to be a calm and steady figure for him, Beth might finally find the peace she's needed all along. Rip's journey could be just as transformative. He's always been reserved, rarely letting people get too close. While he's protective of Beth and loyal to John Dutton, he generally keeps his emotions in check. Raising Carter could give him the chance to open up more, allowing Rip to grow emotionally in ways he never has before. It would also be a chance for him to follow in John Dutton's footsteps. John took Rip in when he was a boy, shaping him into the man we see today. Now, Rip has the chance to do the same for Carter, helping him become the strong, respectable person he is capable of being. It's full circle for Rip, and a big opportunity for him to step into a fatherly role. This new chapter in Beth and Rip's lives will let them grow beyond where we've seen them before. With Carter in the picture, they'll have to navigate the challenges of parenting, forcing them to face new emotional territory. It's an exciting shift for both characters, and it'll give fans a chance to see a new side of Beth and Rip, one that shows their evolution as people and as partners. The addition of Carter could bring a lot of depth to the spinoff. letting viewers see how both Beth and Rip transform when they start raising a child together. It's a whole new journey for them, one that will help them grow in ways they haven't before. Plus, the Yellowstone fans desperately want to see their beloved Beth to be happy, even if it happens in the spinoff. The Pursuit of Beth's Happiness. Beth Dutton's story has always been one of tragedy, but in the wake of her father John's death, her emotional journey is finally becoming clear. From the time she was a little girl, all Beth ever wanted was to feel loved and needed by her family. Unfortunately, her parents' way of raising her didn't really foster those feelings. Her mother, Evelyn Dutton, was tough on her, often belittling her and making her feel unworthy of affection. Evelyn's harshness was meant to make Beth stronger, but instead it left deep emotional scars that Beth had struggled with her whole life. When Evelyn died, Beth desperately sought out her father's love, hoping for the emotional connection that was always missing. Although she was her father's most loyal ally, he never gave her the kind of affection she craved. It wasn't until she met Rip that she finally found someone who truly loved her and showed her what it meant to be cherished. But even with Rip by her side, tragedy struck over and over again, and the loss of her father in Season 5B's premiere seemed to shatter any hope Beth had of ever having the loving family she dreamed of. Despite this, there is still a chance for Beth to find happiness, even after Yellowstone's final season, and it might come from an unexpected place, a child she never thought she'd have. John's death, while tragic, also marks the end of the toxic hold he had over Beth's life. As much as she loved him, John was partly responsible for the trauma Beth has lived with every day. With him gone, Beth is finally free to pursue the life she's always wanted. Although she's unable to have children of her own, due to her forced sterilization by her adopted brother Jamie, there's still the possibility of building the family she's always dreamed of. Rip and Beth may have found that in Carter, the young boy they could raise together. By raising Carter with the love and affection neither of them experienced as children, Beth can finally fulfill her dream of creating a loving family and break the cycle of emotional trauma that has plagued the Duttons for generations. The upcoming spinoff centered on Beth and Rip offers a chance for the Duttons to leave behind a legacy of love rather than one built on pain and control. By embracing Carter as their son, they have the opportunity to create something healthier and more hopeful than the legacy of the ranch ever could. Speaking of family, would we see Casey in the anticipated spinoff? Well, it depends on how his secret plan to save the ranch turns out. Casey's bid to save the ranch. In Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, Casey Dutton makes a bold move, threatening Grant with a counting coup, a gesture of revenge and protection for his family. By the time Give the World Away rolls around in Episode 13, Casey returns home to Monica with news of his plans. He tells her that he's ensured the safety of their family from those responsible for his father's death, and that he's figured out a way for them to leave the ranch. However, Casey is clear that before they can leave, he must first protect Yellowstone. But he's not ready to fully reveal his plans just yet. He teases the idea to Beth, but it's only later in the episode that he starts to drop hints about what he's really planning. In the final scene of Season 5, Episode 13, after the auction, Beth is hopeful, having raised $30 million. But Casey, always thinking several steps ahead, asks her a peculiar question. He proposes a hypothetical situation. If Beth were to sell her $300,000 car to him for only $1 and register it, would the sales tax be based on the $1 she received or the car's actual value? Beth, caught off guard, responds that the tax would be based on what he paid for the car. At this point, Casey still isn't revealing much about his plans, but his smile and the way he gets into his truck make it clear he's not done. As Casey drives off, Beth begins to catch on to what he's getting at, realizing what he might be implying. She quickly chases him down and asks, "Who?" Casey cryptically responds that he needs a day to make sure. After a brief heartfelt exchange with Beth where she thanks him with a kiss on the cheek, she leaves, and Monica, who's in the passenger seat, presses Casey for more details. Casey explains that to save the ranch, they may need to give it away, an idea that seems as bold as it is risky. While Casey remains tight-lipped about his full plan, the clues start to piece together. In the season finale, it's hinted that the Duttons might have to part ways with the Yellowstone Ranch to protect it. but who would be willing to take it over for practically nothing? One possibility is the Broken Rock Reservation. With Chief Thomas Rainwater and Mo notably absent from much of Season 5 Part 2, their return in the finale might signal a potential deal with Casey to save the land from falling into the hands of companies like Market Equities, who have been a persistent threat throughout the series. If Casey does strike a deal with Rainwater, it would not only keep the land in safe hands, but also forge a deeper alliance with the Duttons and the Broken Rock Reservation, potentially changing the course of the Yellowstone legacy forever. So are you excited for the spinoff? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.